I'm gonna park. I'll park right here.
Thank you.
Want to push it up a little bit? No. I can help it. Yeah. Is it in a comfortable place? Thank you.
Okay, guys, I guess we can go ahead and get started. We're still waiting on 2 members of our group. They also have our plans, so that'll be like the big thing we're going to look at today. But we'll get started just in the interest of everyone's time. I'm Kyle McMullen. I'm part of the student team. Corey Baldwin.
Yeah, I'm Dr. J. So I really just sat back and watched the students do all the work, and then assuming that you guys liked everything they did, we'll give them an A. No pressure on you guys, actually. Their grade is in your hands now.
Thanks a lot.
So I guess what we're going to do today, as soon as our plans get here, we're going to kind of go through the plans, show you what all we have. Of course, everything that we're kind of worked on just was putting on paper, kind of doing the engineering work behind it. A big thing that we focused on was making it where it would be easily kind of transferable to the city if the city was to take it and make it paved, and still meeting the requests of Mike and Molly for the Greenway project as a whole, and what they were wanting out of it. What we focused on, like I said, was more the engineering work, more so than the aesthetics. But we'll see that in the plans whenever we get going. I do have 2 copies of our report draft. So there's 2 parts kind of what we did. We have blueprints, and then we have a big report with engineering calculations and everything. I showed you guys there's no engineering calculations in here. They're all in my computer. If you want them, I can send them to you. This is still a rough draft. We still have a few of our estimation calculations and everything we still have to work on. But other than that, this is basically finished. So if you guys, I only have made 2 copies, but if you guys want to pass those around and look through them, they're yours to keep. I guess kind of before we go into the details, because like I said, we're planning the plans. They're actually walking in right now.
So they got a B on not realizing there was a roadway.
We were told, yeah.
Oh, you were? Oh, you did? Oh, good.
We can kind of skip ahead. Mike and Molly, if you guys want to kind of give us an update maybe on your end, what all the changes on the Greenway?
Yeah. Well, so I'm not sure what exactly we had the last time we met down in Knoxville. So far, we're still working on the same phase 1A that we were from Walnut to Pine. And Corey, Cottington, and Joe Baker are the owners of that property, and they're still ready to sign the lease. We've got the lease all ready to go and everything. We're still waiting on, we're going to update the insurance policy because they wanted to have it, the original policy was like a pre-construction type of policy for $1 million, but it had an animal exclusion on it. And Corey and Joe wanted it to be like construction, under construction and finished type of insurance policy where it didn't have an animal exclusion and it covered basically everything. And so next week, Mo and I are going to go down and change that policy over. So then after that's changed over, then we'll be able to sign the lease.
So we can have a policy, sign a policy.
Then we're still working on the logo. We approved the board approved three, 1, 2, and 3 choice logos. And, they were done by the high school art students, and we're going to give those to a real logo company who let them tweak it and do everything that needs to be done to have it professional. That's coming in the next couple of weeks also.
Well, I mean, we're really impressed with what brothers and we'll show it to you guys after. Now, present your plan so you'll have an idea of what we're going to be doing, you know.
I guess we can kind of go ahead and walk through these. You want to do it real quick?
Sure. Okay.
These are, like, we have general notes, just kind of general details, like compaction, kind of just general construction details that, like, most contractors would need. Our goal is for these plans to be ready for construction, so turn them over. They need to be reviewed by an engineer, stamped by an engineer, but after that, they can just easily be transferred over to a contractor to be ready to do.
Is Kyle Horner going to be doing that, do you think, or?
No, Kyle Horner was just like our reference. You guys would still need to, Kyle probably could do it, but you guys would need to go through him and his company individually.
Yeah, so here we have notes for utilities, rural notes, and for the pavement markings and crosswalks. So here we have the existing site and how it looks now with the survey that we have done. So this is Seaways Road.
Yeah, we did this survey data was collected in part by us early in the semester, and then also through.
It was.
Perhaps the name of the company, but they were kind enough to just give it to us. They saw that we were doing it, and they're very kind. They just gave us the data that was a lot more in depth than ours we collected.
So then here's the overall proposed site plan for the greenway, and you can see it starts here, and this is a little culvert that is already on the site, and we're going to use that to go into the parking lot, which is zoomed in on the next page, but the greenway runs along the road, kind of in line with the Cogpen Creek branch alongside of it, and there's like a 20-foot easement within that, so that is how the greenway was drawn here. And so this is where the trailhead will start. So there's a pedestrian crosswalk along Walnut Road, the intersection of Blades Road, and so pedestrians will be able to cross there. And then this is the parking lot that we have laid out. It'll just be a simple gravel lot. And like I said, this culvert is already here, so we're just going to use part of the culvert as a driveway for cars and the other part as a walkway for pedestrians to get to the greenway and get to the parking lot. But it'll just be marked, so it'll be kind of shared use, either one. And so then the greenway officially starts along here.
Key thing with the parking lot, can hold 5 cars. We made sure it was big enough to hold 5 cars. The reason why it's kind of curved out like that is a turnaround area, because it can be kind of tight within the restraint. Part of the reason that we went with the shared use path was because it's wide enough to really fit 2 lanes, or really it'd be a tight 2 lanes, but it's definitely wider than the average 12-foot travel lane. So we figured save you guys from expanding the existing roadway entrance. You can just, if you want to put a different pavement down, you can just cut the asphalt, or you can go over the asphalt as is, and there's still room for like a fence to go in alongside the ditch line. So that was kind of our thinking behind that.
Yeah, and we worked a lot with Kyle Horner, our technical mentor engineer, and this option like saves a lot of money because like this culvert already is here, so we don't have to add things. Since I would just put some gravel over it, and it'll be fairly cost effective.
If it's out of the way, contact like TDEC, like Army Corps of Engineers, whenever you're doing any type of construction going over a stream or any type of small stream.
And so this is the area that goes just beyond Walnut Road. This is Blaze Road over here. And so it just kind of meanders and follows the curve of the creek because the property that you guys have gotten is only 20 feet within the creek, so it just kind of runs along beside the creek. That's how the shape of the path is determined.
So the easement which probably those guys have set up is a 20-foot easement. So the path runs within that easement. And has the easement been done by him, or is this what you're trying to do?
Yeah, we went off, basically we took top of creek, which we had on our survey, and just put an offset 20 feet all along, and then that's kind of what we worked off of.
And so it has to be, I know you met with David Wall, city planner, and so from that perspective, the path has to be a certain number of feet from the center line of the stream, is that?
Yeah, he advised us to stay as far away from the stream as possible, but he said it's kind of, for what we're building, it's kind of up in the air, because in some areas it's like twice the width of the stream, where it was basically twice the width of the stream was what his guidance. So in some areas we had to push all the way up to the 20 foot. Some areas we couldn't quite make it, but he said it's also kind of up in the air because it's also kind of up to opinion on what the width of the stream is. So.
And it varies.
Yes, it varies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he said it is.
It also depends on what you're doing.
Yes.
The type of work you're doing. So
And where
you're not
we're
actually
ground.
building structure if you're in ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, since we are
And it
doing,
moves you away from the requirement of needing a setback for
And
a floodplain.
in our report, we also did a hydraulic test for a 100-year storm. It was with the, I guess with the average bank dimensions, I mean, there's really no problem. I don't see it overtopping the bank at all.
I'm pretty sure the stream did overtop a couple weeks ago in February when we had the.
It was close.
It's
Yeah, it
close.
was really close.
Yeah, and that weekend it was said that it was like 100-year flood event.
But it was closer at the upper end, where at the end of where your project
Yeah.
is. Where
Yeah.
the stream is narrow
Yes.
there and it's not as deep.
and like we said, since we're not building any structures, there's no bridges or anything, it is less concern. And since we're using a permeable surface for the greenway, not just being as asphalt, it's like, David was saying that there's less of a concern and regulations on that, so we should be good. And this dash line here, you can see is where the easement is. And then here's where our section, our phase will end, and this is Pine Road, that there's gonna be another pedestrian crosswalk, across there. And then these are just some standard details of a cross-section of what the top will be and what it is sloped for ADA compliances and detail for the material for the parking lot. And then also these are all based on TDOT standard details, and this is how the crosswalk is regulated for cable companies.
One thing that we met with David Ball, he was pretty sure to kind of make sure that we did, and you can tell in our general detail, the gravel will not like protrude the ground, so like you'll have to cut topsoil out, and then the gravel will be level with existing grade, and that's meet TDEC and a couple other characteristics, and that has to do with flow and runnage in the field that drains into the ditch. That would make sure that we meet those, because if you don't do that, then you got to put in drainage ditches, do a lot more work with it. So make sure it's that. And we also make sure with the type of material that we're using and the thickness, if the city decided to come back over and asphalt it, it meets all those requirements for a minimal use road. So it'd be able to take the impact of like a truck not like repeated use, but like,
Right.
less than, engineering terms would be less than 10,000 easels. So just occasional maintenance vehicles, it can be more than capable of handling it just with the existing material. So you can just go back over, straight it over, and it'd be good to go. Same thing with parking lot. Parking lot is made of a bit thicker, coarser stone. Now, one thing we ran into, and we kind of consulted David about this, was ADA compliance. Technically, this project is privately funded right now, so it doesn't have to be ADA compliant. We made sure at the time of construction, if it's made to these conditions, it will be ADA compliant. But one thing that should be noted is that the greenway itself, runoff is going to happen, and so ADA compliance says like no more than a 1/4 inch variation for wheelchairs and everything else. So rock can be rolled and compacted and be fine, but it should be noted that maintenance would need to be kept up pretty good for it not to be ADA, but like I said, it doesn't have to be ADA compliant to be privately funded, if it is privately funded. So, but that'd be an easy thing, just occasional maintenance and keep it more than, but as it stands right now, it is ADA compliant.
What is the length of the first phase?
Right under a 1/4 mile. Do you guys have any questions?
Starting and stopping points being Walnut Road to Sun Road.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me some sort of landmark.
So like, I guess what are you, like, other than?
Walnut Road to Sun Road.
Yes.
Jimmy's
Back
parking
and
lot.
three Jimmy's
Yes,
parking lot.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
three Jimmy's.
Yeah, three Jimmy's parking lot to the first road
After
All the
going
way.
out down Blaze Road. It's the first main road. There's a house on the left. It's just
On the
unbuilt.
lane?
Not well.
shopping
No,
mall.
no.
Not quite that much.
Yeah.
Just past the old chip.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
Okay.
Pine Road turns left right there past Willie Brown's old house. So it's, yeah, that's-
Thank you.
I just noticed as you were flipping, is there any other drainage coming across that lot?
As long as it stays level with the ground, there's no need for it to have drainage. As long as we stay level with the existing ground, we don't have.
There are no
I didn't
natural
notice.
drainage ways is what he's asking.
No.
Yeah, because there's a road all the way along the top of that lot. I didn't know if there's anything culverted, culverts under that road
There.
onto that lot.
So there is existing sewage lines underneath. We do have those marked in the plans. I'm pretty sure, I think only one or two places with that, like there's actual manholes that we're going over. And if we do, we're going on grade with that. So they can still be easily maintained, but they won't become a terrific hazard as well.
Sure.
But as far as just true like runoff, that should not be an issue. But there's also light poles. We avoided the light poles. Yeah, we avoided the light poles completely. But the actual drainage pipes itself, we did have to kind of work around manhole covers.
Yeah, to do it. And for the cross section of the path, it is sloped down 1.5% towards the creek, so any runoff that gets on to, it will just slide right into it.
And we talked about the electrical department, and so you guys mentioned that you like lighting. So especially if the city took over, they want like fixed standard lighting. We have placed in the plans a conduit, just I think it was a 1/2 inch or maybe an inch conduit, 2-inch conduit to go along the greenway. Because that way, if you guys decide to go in and place lighting at any time, you can easily reach it, put in lighting if you'd like. We don't have the, I guess, electrical engineering behind it, but it'd make it very easy if you didn't want to place lighting for them to just feed it through, and at that time it'd be much quicker.
Are there communication lines running through the area?
There is telephone and cable lines, power lines, definitely power and I think cable lines going above us. And at one point it does reach very low, but it does, as far as like requirements from the state, it is high enough that we don't have to move them. It might be recommendations to raise them a little bit, but that'd be something you can go through the electrical department. But for the most part, we're just, the poles itself we've avoided. By the
I think the hallmark deal. But at the bottom line, or cable or top.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not typically very forthcoming our companies moved down from years.
5 or 6 years into one was supposed to be this under, but
There's not an issue with construction within that utility easement? You know?
Not that we know of. We talked, when we met with David, he said that, like, as long as you have to get permitting and you have to get, like, LiDAR, because, not LiDAR, GPR, ground venturing, like, you have to, like, get marked out where the pipes are at, but we're not protruding the ground, like, we're only gonna have a cut, I think, a max of 8 inches, 6 inches? 6 inches at a time. All those pipes are probably more than, at least 3 feet below the ground. So you have to get required permitting, to do it, but it shouldn't be an issue.
I'm just, when a part of, thinking of overhead line, they have an easement as well. And because they have an issue with power pole or light, they're gonna drive in there because they have an easement on that property with access. So, not that the trail needs to be built to handle their trucks, but, is there an issue with one of the companies that actually building underneath their line, even if it's fine now, just simply building on that easement property?
As long as there's not a structure, I don't believe so. That's not.
Yeah, because if anything, we make it easier than the access, but yeah, it'd be something that we need to find out.
When you guys were starting the project, I know that the electric system hired the little rubbing equipment to go along and clear underneath the line. I was thinking, they've already started.
That was unbelievable.
I think that equipment
Mike and I, somebody else will read with it.
Yeah,
it virtually, because of where the power lines are, followed a lot of those.
Well, we had mowed it that first part,
Yeah, we did.
you know, and then, yeah.
You guys have any other questions?
Great work.
So we still have a little bit more to go into, or on our part to do. We still have a little bit of cost estimation before we present that. Because right now we're still pretty far along, but we'll give you guys a rough cost estimate with that. And other than that, that's the key things that we have left to do. Now we've finished within a week. As far as Mike and Molly, these plans are your guys' team. We have digital copies of everything, and we will get you a final copy of our draft and this whenever we finish up as well.
What are your these two little structures, one of these?
Oh, those are the paper markers.
So that's just pavement markings?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to recall on that end where you actually cross the water, but you don't because there's the color that already, you mentioned already.
Yeah, so there's no need to cross the street.
We sure do appreciate you guys. We really, thank you so much.
Excellent job.
I mean,
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, you was doing construction right now.
I'm ready to go for that.
since he's not here, they should get an A for having to deal with David Ball. I'll tell him he said that.
so you're not running camera.
Well, just from the thoroughness standpoint, I asked you a couple questions, but I had more that you were answering. I was checking off as you went through, because the people you dealt with, who you contacted, who you worked with.
And hopefully, most of that is in the report, maybe not all of it, but hopefully most of it's in the report. So if down the road you have any questions, you can just look at that. And we also, like I said, we'll have calculations in there to back it. So whenever it does get turned over to an engineer to be stamped, like, hopefully they can just look at it, turn to the back of the index, and be like, oh, this is what they did. Very easily just approve it. That's our goal. Dr. J, do you have anything?
I don't. I mean, I am just as proud of you guys as these guys are, so thanks for doing a good job. You know, just to reiterate the point, the work that the students did was, Kyle did help them through this process, but they didn't have the necessary, you know, minute-by-minute oversight that you would normally have at an engineering firm. So, like as an example, Kyle could stamp all of these pretty much immediately if the team had been working right underneath him at the company, but he would need to do a much more thorough review of this, even if he himself were the one to get hired for this job. So just realize that these aren't intended to take them out there right now this afternoon to start digging your trench and putting the gravel down.
We would never do that.
I know. But they, you know, they're hey, I went on a Christmas break one break, and I got pictures back that said, hey, we used your grading plan. I said, that's great. And I'm glad that you're the city official, so you approved it yourself. But no, I think the quality these guys put together really does match something that would come out of an engineering office. So yeah, it was a really great project to be a part of.
It's just phase one, we're not, you guys are ready to continue.
You're going to pay for their graduates.
That's to the next semester.
I say that I've got the worst engineering company myself because I get 100% turnover every 3 months. So I do need more projects because I hire a bunch of new engineers every semester.
Thank you. And thank everyone for coming.
Today, yes,
Really
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
I guess we should mention, we will have a big kind of reception. There's a College of Engineering showcase event for all of the departments of engineering in the University of Tennessee. That event is Thursday the 25th. It's a really long window, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, but there's an award ceremony that's supposed to happen at 3:30. So if anyone, you all are welcome to come. We'll send an email to you guys. Yeah. But if you want to come, you don't have to be there for that full session, but maybe if you come towards the tail end of that, then kind of, it's really meant to celebrate what everybody did. And I'd love it for you guys to be there.
You guys good meeting?
Yeah.
We'll bring the
The top three.
top three of the, these are the top three. And, so, we're gonna
Tweet them.
get a logo company tweet.
This is number one. This one.
The one we sent it.
1, 2, 3.
Like this?
Yeah. But we love the G.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is so cool. And number one for everybody on the board.
Then we're in contact with a company called That's My Brick, and we're going to set up on our website a donation link to their company. You can buy an etched brick with memory of a loved one or whatever you want on there. And it's going to be, before we get to this section, it's going to be along through Jimmy's parking lot where they have all of the landscaping and the blocks and so forth. They're going to donate all of that across the street to the beginning of the greenway. So we're going to have some greenstones and some great, and then that's going to be a 6 to 8 foot wide brick sidewalk with all these dedication bricks on it. Won't be solid, like all the bricks won't be dedication, there'll be other bricks too. So
If you want to buy one, you can. And then a pedestrian bridge, that's what else.
Like it's a convention center.
Absolutely, yeah.
And these were from GP.
These are GPs, yeah. And and the Greenway's going to give prizes for second, third, and also make a donation to Alice
We'll
Fisher's
give them to
fire
Alice
department.
next week.
Thanks once again.
Yeah, you
Thank
guys.
Thank everybody for coming.
You guys. So, thank I know, yeah. Oh, man. I just want to, yeah. I mean.
Then when it rolls out,
I know, I mean, so many of us, I just together.
Well, we have
Yeah. So in our scene,
You can see that. Good to see you.
I say something.